Fort Portal is a tourism city of Uganda situated at the base of the Rwenzori Mountains in the Greater Toro Kingdom. Fort Portal has over 50 crater lakes that are spread all over this region. Among them is Lake Ninamboga, which is featured on the Ugandan 20,000 shillings note. On the rim of the Lake Ninamboga lies Ndali Lodge, which is a home away from home for tourists and various attractions in the region. The family-run Ndali Lodge is one of Uganda's most widely praised exclusive retreats. It has a stunning location offering panoramic views across Lake Rukwanzi and steep slopes lined in banana and tea plantations to the Rwenzori peaks.
My first ever time, 1994, I came out to visit my father, and of course I started in Kampala, which I found very exciting, and then came here to visit, well, with my dad. He picked me up. And in those days, no lodge here. My father lived in a mud hut just where the pool is now, just this side. And so I lived with my dad for a few weeks in this mud hut. There was a lovely old guy called Joseph who used to get water from the lake and bring it up and cook for us. And it was very basic, very romantic, and I just loved it. So I was initially, straight away I fell in love with the place. This place has always been called Indali, way back from when they first brought out the title. And after that, you ask, why was it called Indali? I don't know. It means so many things. In your language, is it Luganda you speak? So in your language, in Luganda, it means squinted eyes. And in this language around here, there's a plant, not very attractive plant, called Ndali. I don't know why you'd call it that. Is there a place? I think there's a place up north where Ndali is like the local gin, the local alcohol. So is Ndali Lodge Squinted Eye Lodge? Is it Ugly Plant Lodge, or is it local Hooch Lodge? It's none of those things. It's just named after the estate. So we're very, very blessed at Ndali itself because of our position. We are built right on the rim of a volcano. It's an old extinct volcano which has since filled up with water. So you'll see on your footage, this is Lake Ninamboga. This lake is actually featured on the 20,000 shilling note. So we have this claim to fame, we're on the money. And so because the rim of the volcano is wide enough, my father was able to build a lodge and have lovely gardens and grounds. And it means that we have this unique position where we have views on both sides. We can see the lake on the east, and we can see the Rwenzori Mountains, and also Lake Mwamba to the west. And on a clear day, we can see Lake George in the distance and Queen Elizabeth. So as far as Ndali goes, we're very blessed. And this whole area of Kasenda is also blessed because we have 32 of these lakes in the area. So if you fly over this place in a little plane or a helicopter, you're going to see these little jewels of lakes dotted around everywhere. It's unique. There's nowhere else like it.
Stephen is my name. I am the founder of the Greenleaf Orchards and Crater Lakes Exploration, based on the rims of Lake Ninamboga. Lake Ninamboga, it's the one on the Ugandan note of 20,000 shillings. It was printed. So the lake, it has inlet and outlet. And that's why the water, you see, it's blue, looks so beautiful, and then people can swim, and then we have the boat in the lake. So whenever people come around and then they see the lake, some of them, they feel like going to the lake. So that's why we started a canoeing. So people, they like it. It's very natural. Although it's fresh, but then whenever people fetch the water, we tell them to boil their water. They are not supposed to drink the water without boiling it. And then we do nature walk, we do bird watching, we do campsite and local food experience, as well as swamp and hot spring. So we have canoeing. Sometimes you find even people fishing using bamboo boat or banana boat by paddling. So there's a type of fish which we have in this lake, which is called tilapia. So they are small in size, but otherwise it's edible for us. It's very delicious. Well, Ninamboga, sometimes back in 1940s, so there used to live a woman on a certain hill, and that woman, whenever people could come across to that woman, she could disappear in the water. And then people from there, they believed that maybe that woman, she's the mother of Mbuga. But otherwise, in actual sense, Mbuga is like a picnic yard where you could go and sit and then have a lunch from there. So people here, they saw that maybe that woman, she's the one who produced this lake, which has no fact, but that's the way how the name was created. The lake, it is found in Ndali Kasenda. We call it Ndali Kasenda Crater Lakes Field, and it's in Chakatama, Chifuruka, Ruihamba, Rutete sub-count, Kabarole district. So when you're from Fort Portal coming to this side, you take Kamwenge Road, but then you turn from Kasisi Junction, which is about 14 kilometers from Fort Portal, Kamwenge Road. And then if you continue with this road, you catch up with Kasese Highway.
Most of our guests are tourists coming from abroad, and they all come and stay here to go and trek the chimpanzees. And the chimpanzees are in Kibale Forest. That's their natural habitat, and they've been habituated. And Kibale is about 45 minutes drive from here. So our guests come for 2 or 3 nights, and of course, we have many activities here, and we can walk around the lake and around the estate and learn about the things that my cousin Lulu grows, which is coffee and cardamom and vanilla and cocoa. But they always go to Kibale one morning and go and see the chimpanzees. My cousin is also, maybe this is a different aspect, but my cousin also built an amazing school just the other side of the lake there called Sadhguru School, and it's on the estate, it's part of Indali. And many of our guests like to go and visit the school, and the kids give them a nice dance and show them around the school, and that's always very compelling to people coming from abroad. Tourism had 20 years off. Over the terrible times of Amin and Aboti, there was no tourism here, so there were no facilities really. And it was only when my father came back, that was about the time that the Uganda Wildlife Authority was getting things together, organizing the gorillas. The gorillas are the real draw for most tourists who come here, and habituating the chimps. The national parks, Murchison Falls, Queen Elizabeth, Pien Nupe, all those places, they didn't have a huge amount of game. There's not huge numbers of lions or leopards. And over the years, all of that has picked up a little. During the lockdown, there was nothing at all. And during the time that the airport was closed, of course, there are no tourists. So we really appreciated all the domestic tourism we got. We got just enough to allow us to keep the staff on and keep the place looking great. So, in the absence of tourism, domestic tourism really kept us alive. And now, although we're quiet at the moment, the after effects of COVID are still being felt, our bookings even from next month, from June onwards into the distant future, are looking fantastic. So I really am optimistic about tourism in the future for everybody. We have good relations with the community. The place is beautiful. I love living here. So my guests often ask me the same question: what are the challenges here? And I'm on it. I really love it. I love my job. I love where I live. And I find if there are any minor challenges, I kind of enjoy them. It's a challenge. So I enjoy, we have great members of staff. We have a huge team of 45 members of staff. So, that's like a big family, and when you're managing a family, that can be a challenge, but it's an enjoyable challenge. The Uganda Tourist Board, UTB, is concentrating more on marketing Uganda abroad. In the past, it was often left to the tour companies in Entebbe and Kampala to do all the marketing. The government seemed to be like, well, we don't need to do it, the tour companies are doing it. But I think they've realized that tourism brings in enough revenue for the GDP of the country that it's worth investing. It's worth the government investing, so they bring in even more. So if they can do that better and better, turn up to the tourism shows abroad and really show Uganda in its best light. Everybody at the moment, all the tourists come for gorillas. That's their top priority. Of course, we're lucky with that. They also want to see the chimps. But I think if Uganda as a whole is going to increase its tourism, because the number of gorilla permits is limited. Once they're sold, they're sold. No one's going to book in. So Uganda has a lot more going for it, not just the mountains and the lakes, but the national parks are beautiful. My wife and I just got back from Murchison Falls, absolutely gorgeous. And, the Uganda has a lot more to offer than just primates. The primates are really our strength, but it can be marketed better by the government to show that there's more to see in Uganda. All English people love dogs. I would say that. I grew up with dogs, as a lot of people in England did. My parents had big black Labrador dogs and little white terrier dogs. And when I came here, my father had 5 beautiful dogs. Tonto, Musa, Warraji, those were the names all after the local brews. And after my father died, I've always had dogs here. And you can see our pack is very varied, but we find that most of our guests, when they come from abroad, because they're the type of guest who's coming to see chimpanzees, they're real animal lovers, and that type of guest always has dogs at home. And they always come and the dogs greet them at the car and they're like, "Oh, I miss my dogs. I'm so happy to see these dogs." So I think they really add part, we said we wanted to feel like a home, and having the dogs wandering here and making friends with the guests, I think is a real asset to that vision of us being like a home.
Ndali's grass-thatched cottages are spacious and airy, with each facing west to offer panoramic views to the spectacular mountains of the moon, Rwenzori Mountains. The lodge is about 45 minutes from the chimpanzee tracking trailhead at Kanyanchu, the world's densest concentration.
We have beautiful views in every direction. So like for example, towards the east you'll see Lake Ninamboga, and you see a very beautiful Ndali forest. And then towards the south, on a very clear day like now, you'll see Queen Elizabeth National Park, you'll see Lake George in the distance. And then you can also see Mountain Rwenzori in the west. And sometimes you can also see snow on top, like this morning was very clear, so you could see snow on top. And then of course, our hospitality, we are very hospitable here at Ndali. And then we have very delicious food. And the feel of the place, I guess, it's very peaceful and quiet here. So it's like you're visiting, I don't know, the garden of, just imagine the most beautiful garden, or the most beautiful home, and peaceful. So that's what most of our guests love about Ndali.
The airy and tastefully decorated lounge and dining area, set in colorful flowering gardens, have something of an English country house ambience, an old library and superb candlelight, home-cooked full-course diners.
So basically when a guest comes in, because normally the way our guests never come in by surprise, because we are strictly reservation based, and whoever is coming to stay here must have made a reservation. So we know who is coming, when they're coming, who they're coming with, let it be a tour company, let it be a country diplomat. So once the guest comes in, we welcome them, give them a welcoming drink, either juice or water, and then show them, because I know sometimes the guest has had a long drive, so you don't want to talk about everything. We don't have booklets. Just imagine Ndali is a home, so we don't have everything written down like this is this, this is. So we talk about a few things like the features. We point them to the south, we point them to the Rwenzori Mountains, we show them the dining room, then we show them the swimming pool, and then we take them to their rooms. We have a total of 9 rooms. And then afterwards we talk about a few activities, like we have a lovely walk around the lake, which you can do either by yourself or with a guide. Then we have, in our beautiful Ndali forest, we have more than 100 bird species. But my favorite being the great blue turako and the cinnamon-chested bee-eater. Then we have paddle boards which you can take out on the lake. We have a sauna, we have a very beautiful open-air gym. And then we have, like I told you, the place is very peaceful. We have an activity called relaxation. You can relax your mind and choose to do nothing and just watch the views and get served anything you want.
The interiors are imaginatively furnished using local materials. Each cottage, large enough to accommodate a family, has a spacious and suite bathroom and a private veranda, ideal for watching the sun setting behind the Rwenzori Mountains.
There is so many options of activities they could do here. For example, I'm going to start with the most proximate being the swimming pool. We have a very good swimming pool, which you see while you're at the lodge. It has a baby pool and an adult pool. And then we have a sauna, which is below the swimming pool. So sometimes our guests like to do the combination of both. They come and swim and then go to the sauna. So the sauna is very private. It's below the swimming pool. It's facing, while you're there, you can see Lake Mwamba. You can see Queen Elizabeth National Park. You can see Mountain Rwenzori. And it has a beautiful sitting area where you could order a drink and have it from there. While at the sauna, we could also offer you a massage. We have very good masseuses here who give massages. And then there's also a very clever, it's like a bucket shower. So when you get very hot, if you don't feel like coming up to dip yourself in the pool, you can pull that bucket shower and it pours water on you and you cool down. And then moving on to the activities, we have, I like to describe it as the best gym because it's a very open air gym. So you're gymming looking at Lake Ninamboga, and it doubles as a gym and yoga pagoda. It has lots of machines, it has dumbbells, it has basically lots of machines. You can work out, full body workout while you're at the gym. And then we have on the lake, you can either take a walk around the lake. For people that love running or walking, you can take a walk around. It's about 6.5 kilometers. We can give you a guide to make it more informative, or you can go with the dogs. And then on the lake still, you can do stand-up paddle boarding. We have inflatable paddle boards which we can carry down for you and you enjoy the lake.
Ndali has a huge charm. After a 45-minute drive from Ndali Lodge, guests can join guided chimpanzee hikes from Kanyanshu Park headquarters into the forest jungle, searching for the cheeky chimpy buns.